Can't remember a day I didn't have all I needed, when I wasn't cared for and treated like a son who really mattered, who always found a platter at the table of my father's love. But these days I'm reeling. I'm dying inside and feeling like I can't stay here no more, like I can't lay here no more. And here's why. My brother and the old man are tight. Like doves, they never fight. Mr. Goody Two-Shoes is always right, never wrong, just so long as the old man ain't looking. Careful, careful, never stray. Always, always got to obey everything the old man say, just so long as he's looking. Even though he's really a faker, a paper-thin, constant complainer and hater, and while he always playing like the perfect son, he tears me up and tears me down like I'm the ever and only one who never does nothing right. But at least I'm honest. Now I think it's time to go. There's so much I've heard and got to know if it's the real deal. My clock is ticking, my time is short. I'm wasting my life just plowing the dirt of another man's field. And what does it yield for me? Nothing. I've got to find out. I've got to set out. I've got to break out of this place. It's time to finally chase my dreams and face my fears. I can't stay here, no, not even one more day. Besides, what does he care anyway? Father, I've decided that I have to go. I'm not sure what I need, but one thing I know, it's not here. So give me all I got coming to me so I can go find, so I can go see all the good things that are waiting for me out there, out where my real life is. It might take me months. It could be for years, but it's time to recover. I've got to discover the living I'm missing while I've been stuck here. He didn't seem angry. He might have been hurt. As he gave me my money and packed the last shirt into my bag, and we began to walk. We didn't cry, we didn't sigh, we didn't talk. At the end of the road, he paused, and then he spoke and said, "Son, some things in life just have to play out. Sometimes, you have to find out for yourself." I'm not going to shout. Just so you know, my soul travels with you wherever you go, and no matter how far or wide you may roam, remember my heart is always your home. And then I turned, and I was gone. My dad's last glance was a little rough, but definitely not going to be enough to keep me from riding in style. I'm cruising the turnpike. I'm not here to hitchhike. I'm the man with the drink and the smile. 2 years have passed since I first hit the gas and got the heck out of Dodge. I'm not a regretter. Things couldn't be better. My big dreams were not a mirage. Most days I'm found buying the next round with a girl on my left and my right. So sweet and so fine, we dance and we dine until darkness gives up the fight, until nighttime succumbs to the light again and again and again. And my friends, they're real friends, not the kind who pretend that they're all righteous and perfect. They're rough and they're wild and probably defy, but at least it's all out on the surface. No pretense, self-defense, just people who are what they are. When I'm joking, they laugh. When I'm talking, they listen. When I'm with them, I know one thing's for certain, I'm free. Finally free from the rules and debris of a world where guilt made it hard to be me. Just some loser in life's lottery, where failure was all that they could see, but no more. I've left that behind, now drowned in the wine of delight. Drowned out by the songs of the night, and I frankly don't care if it's right or wrong. I've moved on. Now, it's strange to consider last spring, fall, and winter and how great things were going for me. And even if slowed by some bumps in the road, I'm not going to lose any sleep. It's true that my cash has dwindled too fast, and my girlfriend has found someone new. She said it was 'cause I party too much, but I don't think that that's really true. Besides, that new guy she's got, he's a fool. I've been thinking of looking for a part-time gig cooking or cleaning just to top off the purse. But the job market's been bad since the spring drought began, and lately it's gone bad to worse. And I thought I could count on my friends from downtown to float me a loan to get by, but
don't come back.
Now that I'm not the star at their bar, well, it seems all their wells have run dry. Sure makes a guy wonder why. I'll just have to try harder. Maybe I can barter with that man who sells hogs by the lake. He's crude and he's curt and kind of a jerk, but at least I won't have to beg. We did talk today, and he said I could stay in the barn if I helped feed the pigs. It's Weird how much he looks like my dad, except he curses way more than he blinks. This is definitely not the life that I had pictured. Definitely not what I had in mind. All of my dreams to be happy and richer seemed sunk in the slop with these swine. All I wanted was a life that would matter. All I desired was to get my fair share. Is it too much to ask that my life would be better, not shattered and splattered by this filth and despair? And who really cares that at this point my life is going nowhere? Stop your daydreaming and get back to the sty, unless you'd rather sleep under the sky. Really? Who really cares? Who really cares if I hurt or I cry? Who really cares if I live or I die? Who really cares? My dad does. I know my dad does. Even with all I've done. Even though I've done him wrong. So very much wrong. I know. My dad does. I need to go back. I need to go home. I'm tired of living out here all alone in the cold of my own broken dreams. In the filth of my own selfish schemes. I'll tell him I've sinned. I'll tell him I'm wrong. I'll tell him how much I just want to belong once again, even though I know it can never be the same. Oh God, as I take my first steps in my journey back home, how can I hope to be heard by you at all, much less that you would help me to go? How can I dare? Why would you care for me after all I have done? I thought that I had to run far away from my dad and from you to get what I needed. But how wrong I have been. Oh God, how I've sinned. So right now I come to you pleading that you would please forgive me. You would be right to turn me away. There is not one thing that I could say to you, because you would be right. What could I say? You would be right if you gave me much worse. If all of your laws fell like a curse on my head until I was dead, you would be right, 1,000 times right. How can I walk? How can I stand before you? Can I strike you a bargain that from here out and from now on I'll always be true? Can I somehow hope to tip the great scales to somehow prevail upon you? By fixing my life, by paying some price back to you? No, there's nothing I can do. There's nothing I can pay. All I can do is pray and trust that you have a way to forgive, that you have a way I can live now for you, which you don't have to give me, but in your great mercy you do. Oh, how I thank you. What will Dad say when I return to his place? Will he even speak or look at my face? Will his silence be deafening? Will his anger be felt? Will I sense his displeasure? Will my heart burn and melt from the heat of his pain and regret? Is he still upset? If I were him, I would be. Most would say he should be. I don't know what I'm in for. But one thing's for darn sure, I'm better off there. I'm better off where even the servants have food they can spare. Right now, I'd be happy just to be one of them. I'm no longer worthy to be called my dad's son, and I plan to tell him that too, because it's true. I don't deserve it. My feet are tired, and my belly aches with hunger. I wish my trip was done, but it won't be too much longer until I'm there. Soon I'll be cresting the hill, just a few more miles until I'll be home. Oh God, I'm scared. And I feel so unprepared for the pain that I might see when I get home. How strange it's going to be back home. But who is this man who is running my way? He runs like a youth, but his hair is gray. But everyone knows that old men don't run, and now he calls out, "My son, my dear son, so long have I prayed and longingly wept and looked up the hill for your faint silhouette. And now you are home safely and sound, no longer lost to me now, you are found." Then Dad kissed me and hugged me and cried like a babe as though I had just returned from the grave, and I know, in some way, I did. My father's welcome really blew my mind. I couldn't believe how incredibly kind he was being to me. I said, "Father, here with you is where I now want to be, but I can no longer be in your family because the way I've acted is shameful. My actions towards you were so cruel. How can you ever forgive me for being such a fool?" But I wondered if he even heard my reply when he said to his servant, "We must party tonight. Go and get lobster and the best caviar. We'll have a DJ and a full open bar. Invite all our friends and put up a tent. I frankly don't care how much money we spend. Give him the front room and the best clothes you can find. My son was dead, but now he's alive." And so they did. And what a night it was. And I struggled just because I was welcomed like a prince or a hero who'd been gone. I was treated like I'd been a perfect son all along, who never did nothing wrong, never evil, super good, always did the things I should. And what's up with that? And how can this be? Does God ever let the guilty go free? Would he close his eyes to justice and say he didn't see? Does he ever act corruptly or fall to bribery? May it never be. So someone's got to pay for my iniquity. It's like someone else got punished. Like someone other went to jail so I could walk the streets without even posting bail. It was all just so surprising. It was all just so surreal. I could never have imagined the joy that I would feel as I basked in my Father's lavish love. And then my brother came home from work. He'd been out all day delivering for the family farm. He was tired, worn, and hungry as he passed on by the barn, where he started hearing music, people dancing and song, and he wondered right out loud, what the heck is going on? One of my father's workers was outside on his phone, and he told him, "Yeah, today your younger brother came back home. And so your father has decided to throw this amazing bash. Let me tell you, man, he's dropping some serious cash." This news sank my brother's soul like bricks on a raft. And though his first response was to chuckle and then laugh, inside his soul was drowning in the deepest sea of pain, saying, I could really care less if I ever see him again, let alone start dancing because he's now returned. I'm not going on inside there. I'd rather sooner die. And it shouldn't require rocket science to know the reason why. Now, my dad had just concluded blessing the evening meal when a friend of his leaned over and explained the whole ordeal. And so he rose up quickly and ran and went outside. My brother he found in the barn in the loft, and he said to my dad, "I'm so incredibly ticked off. All of these years I've broken my back in honor of you, as a matter of fact. I haven't complained, I've always obeyed. Right here by your side, I've always stayed. While your young son was out carousing with whores, I was stuck here doing his chores. And what for? Not once have you gathered my friends for a time of dancing and feasting with even cheap wine. But I come home today after working for hours, had no time to eat or even grab a quick shower, and you're back here spending the farm on this fool who spit in your face. Dad, it's really not cool. And how in the world can this ever be fair? He receives blessing without doing his share. He receives blessing after wasting his share of your goodness and kindness and generous care. It's almost as though you've forgotten his sins, but I don't. I resent the treatment he's given. Son, all of us owe a debt of some kind. One owes 100, another just 5. Love's never earned. It's all about grace. So you and your brother will always have place in my heart. And as for your part, son, remember, all that I have is yours to the brim, and you will lose nothing if I'm generous to him. My soul and my love are yours in full measure, for love cannot be divided like treasure. Like sun rays aren't weakened because they must shine on more than one person at the same time, so it is, son, with all of my kids. The more that I have, the more love that there is. And so don't you see, son, we had to rejoice. There must be loud singing and lifting our voice. We had to break out the best food and choice wine because your brother was dead, but now he's alive. And so as I bring this story to a close, there's just a few things I want you to know. I honestly get why my brother was mad. The things that I did, they really were bad. He's right. Like him, I should have obeyed. He's right. With Father, I should always have stayed. But if love is a wonder towards those who do well, how lavish is love towards the ones that rebel? And if love is amazing for the sheep that have stayed, how boundless is love for the ones that have strayed? How great and how vast is this love that we're shown, as high as the heavens with heights yet unknown? Yes, higher than heaven. I think that is true. This love of the Father